What's up, ladies and gents? My name is Malcolm, also known as Baytuh, and today I'm here to bring you guys something a little bit different to my channel. Usually when you come to my YouTube channel, ladies and gents, you usually get gameplay walkthroughs, full playthroughs, full walkthroughs, and the occasional let's play video. But today I decided to do something a little bit different, something I've really never done before. I mean, the only other thing I can make a comparison to is my wishlist opinionated video that I did with Halo Infinite a couple of months ago. But here we are, my Marvel's Avengers walkthrough. This is my first time doing stuff like something like this, so don't expect any professionalism when it comes to this. Hopefully it's not too rambly and whatnot. Like I said, this is my first time doing something like this, so sound off in the comments down below if I'm just rambling, not getting my points across that well. And if I do another review video like this in the future, I'll take that criticism and that feedback in. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Before we get started, if you guys could leave a like on this video if you guys like what you saw, please subscribe for more content. It helps out the channel a lot. Also, when you do subscribe, make sure to click that little bell next to the subscribe button so you can start receiving notifications when I post videos or go live with a live stream next time. Please share my channel and my videos to all your friends, family, cats, and dogs, and whoever who not. And you guys can all follow me on Twitter at Baytuh, B-A-Y-T-U-H. And I also have a Patreon page. You guys can please go over there, donate starting at the $2 tier so I can keep making some cool shits. And that's over here at the youtube.com/Baytuh. That is patreon.com/Baytuh, B-A-Y-T-U-H. Also, if you guys don't have a Patreon page or you do not want to use Patreon, but you have a PayPal account, I also have a PayPal account you can donate to. That is paypal.me/Baytuh, B-A-Y-T-U-H. And without further ado, ladies and gents, let's jump into my Marvel's Avengers review. Enjoy. Yeah, it's one of those games, ladies and gents, unfortunately. In my personal opinion, there's little positives about this game, and mostly negatives in my personal opinion. But let me just get this out of the way and get the positives out of the way. In my personal opinion, this game is a solid 6.5, okay, to even borderline 7.0, depending on what day you ask me. Like, hey, how do you feel about Marvel's Avengers beta? And I'm like, it's borderline good, enjoyable. The single player campaign, I think, is kind of enjoyable. But let's get some of the positives out of the way. The positives, let's start with the gameplay. I think the gameplay is actually really stinking good. Definitely the brawling aspects. I don't, like I said in the beta and throughout this walkthrough, I still don't like playing as Iron Man or Hulk. My favorites are playing as Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, and then Kamala Khan. Those are my 4 favorites in this game. Playing as Captain America, God, it's so freaking dope. Racking up combos is awesome. Unfortunately, I don't like how it's like every little attack the enemy throws at you, you stagger, which is very unfortunate and kind of dumb when you're trying to rack up like Devil May Cry level combos, which you could actually do in this game, but it usually only works when there's 1 to 2 to even maybe 3 enemies. But when most of the time, I would say 99.9% of the time, you're facing 10 to 15 plus enemies at a time. Getting up, trying to execute those type of combos is next to near impossible in my personal opinion, in my time playing through this game, because like I said, one of those cryo aim soldiers could shoot just one of those ice bullets at you, and one of them can stagger you and F up your whole entire time trying to get off a combo. And I'm like, man, that is really stupid. I think that's really kind of bad game design in my personal opinion. The other thing is, not the other thing, but yeah, like the Saturday got really bad. Definitely, you guys saw the last mission where when we were faced off against those adaptors that have inhuman abilities, and when I faced against them, I'm like, okay, let's go. I threw my shield at the fire guys, who, you know, the adaptors inhuman ability adaptors or whatever. I just repeated myself, sorry. And the guy charged me and knocked me down. I'm like, okay. Then did his freaking like explosion attack on me. I'm like, okay, I got staggered again. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna dodge roll, get out the way. Come on. Then another guy, the other adaptoid, laser fireball beamed me, and I got staggered again, and I just kept getting staggered, and I died. I'm like, well, I didn't even have a chance to get up. Like, the staggering is just dialed out to 11 in this game. I'm like, whoa, you gotta bring it down some. Like, it's even really freaking stupid when you're playing as someone like Hulk. Like, we all know Hulk, probably the strongest Avenger, one of the strongest characters in the Marvel universe, period. but gets staggered after just a tiny little android just taps him, just punches him a little bit, or the ice cannon from the cryo soldier just freaking just hits him. He'll stagger. I'm like, why? That's just it doesn't make sense. Like I understand if it was like one of the adaptoids hitting Hulk, but no, it's everything hitting Hulk. He staggers like no matter what. I think that's really piss poor in my personal opinion. But other than that, the other positives about this game, ladies and gents, other than the gameplay, is Kamala Khan herself, aka Miss Marvel. I think she's like probably the only saving grace about the campaign, and why I find it enjoyable and actually borderline kind of good or okay, is because I put myself in her shoes. Like, she's this mega super hardcore mega fan of these superheroes that inspire her. I mean, her main inspiration is Captain Marvel, which hopefully whenever she comes to Marvel's Avengers, hopefully we can see a interaction between Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. I think that would be so freaking dope between those two. But yeah, like, she's trying to figure out, I think the Avengers are set up. AIM is up to some shady stuff. Monica and I totally forgot the Charlton or whatever his name is, aka Modoc. I'm like, she's like, yeah, something is amiss with AIM, and she is basically the heart and soul of the re-assemble campaign part of Marvel's Avengers. I mean, she is trying to bring everyone together. She is trying to stop everyone from tearing each other apart, from breaking apart once again. Just like during the scene when Iron Man and Hulk go at it, she's like, guys, we need to calm down. This is what Modoc wants. Like, no, like, we can't do this. And when she found a clue of where to find the Inhumans and whatnot, and she's like, she just sends out that really heartfelt message, and it's just like, yeah, like, you are the heart and soul. Like, you got this, Kamala. You go home, girl. Well, which I find it really interesting and kind of funny, where I guess, I mean, this happened in the MCU and the Avengers and Avengers. God, what's that? Avengers Age of Ultron, where the Avengers, they do something cool, they beat all the enemies up, then something goes horribly wrong, then they start pointing fingers and blaming each other, then they get into a fight, then like 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, it's resolved. They're like, all right, I'm sorry, let's see what's going on. I'm like, wait, what the hell is going on? And that's kind of like a little bit of a problem I have with the story part of this game, is that there's this problem they have in this game, and it's instantly resolved in the next scene, or like 5 to 10 minutes later. It's just like, oh man, like, what the hell? Like, a perfect example is, ladies and gents, is where Bruce and Kamala Khan is out looking for, what is it, like a freaking, not crystal, but they're in the desert looking for a power source to power the Chimera or what have you not. And they're smashing the not the warlords or whatever, the warheads or the AIM soldiers that can shoot and dive bomb you. And after that fight, Bruce turns back, or Hulk turns back to Bruce, and Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, is like, am I the only one left? And Bruce is like, what? And she's like, why isn't the Inhumans rising up to help fight against AIM? Like, they're the bad guys. We could do this. And that, it's a mystery and a threat. I'm like, that is interesting. But it gets answered and solved in the next scene, where wherever his fake freaking name is, teleports them into Hank Pym's anthill lab or base or whatever. And they're like, oh no, we were hiding in secret. We're going, doing things, lowbrow, undercover, not undercover, but like under the radar and whatnot. I'm like, I wish there was just more death. I said death. Sorry, I don't want more death. I wish there's more depth to the plot and the story. Like, everything is just so surface level. It gets answered instantly. Like, another thing, ladies and gents, that I feel like that never got answered, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. How did Captain America survive the Chimera crashing and like blowing up? Like, he smashed the crystal power source thingy and blew up. And I know he has a healing factor, but it's not nearly as, if I'm not mistaken, as powerful as Wolverine's or even Black Panthers. So it's just like, how the fly F can he do that? It's, I guess, freaking, forget everything you know type of situation. But I wish that was answered, because I'm like, is he a Skrull or something? Because, like, how did he survive that major freaking explosion? I know they said, well, Monica saved him, but like, how? That was like a freaking mini sonic bomb nuke or whatever that went off. Like, how the hell did that happen? Like, it killed thousands of people, that explosion. So it's just, Whatever. So yeah, those are the positives I have. The only positives I had about Marvel's Avengers, the gameplay and Kamala Khan and some story aspects of the game. Definitely, I want to be Avengers in a day. Those are my. I want to be an Avenger is legitimately top 5 favorite missions of all time. Like, while I was playing through that part, ladies and gents, part 1 of my walkthrough, I was smiling ear to ear. I'm like, oh my god, like. Because I'm like, because I'm mostly of a DC fan. I mean, Batman's my favorite superhero. I'm mostly a DC fanboy. But seeing Kamala Khan freak out when Thor shows up and Black Widow and Captain America show up and Iron Man's right next to her busy talking to her, it's just like, dude, like, that's awesome. Like, I would want a DC equivalent, like, oh man, look at Batman. He's talking to me, be like, hey, you better watch yourself. I'm going to punch you in the face. I put you in freaking Blackgate. Anyways, to the negatives about this game, and there's a lot of them, so I'll try to keep it kind of tight. The biggest negative about this game, ladies and gents, and stick with me, but the biggest negative about this game, ladies and gents, the biggest negative that almost kind of pisses me off to a point, which is weird, is that what great, amazing, great potential Marvel's Avengers had, but it was wasted on the game that we got, which is a games as service multiplayer like game, looter, shooter, thrall, whatever you want to call it. What potential wasted on this? Like, excuse me, this could have been like Spider-Man 2018 or the Arkham series levels amazing. Marvel, Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal's Marvel's Avengers could have stood toe to toe with the Arkham franchise, with Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and even Arkham Origins, which I do think is a great game, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2018. It could have, but no, it's not even in the same hemisphere, the same city, not even the same freaking puddle of water. That was a reference to Spider-Man 2018. What a shame, because what potential is wasted on this game is that when you play through the single player campaign, there are some parts that are actually really great, but there are dumb games to service multiplayer portions of this game that seeps into the campaign part, and it's honestly upsetting, and it throws so much of the pacing and the balance off in this definitely in the campaign. Like some parts when you're running through as Iron Man or Hulk or even Kamala Khan, you have to freaking hit these 4, or doing the perfect example is before you do the Bruce and Kamala Khan mission. In the desert, you play as Iron Man, and you're trying to find, the friggin' crystal to power the Chimera, and you find that AIM is making an arc reactor or something like that. And to take down the arc reactor, you don't have to do something cool or anything. No, you have to freaking do multiplayer, freaking destroy these freaking 6 points, and it just blows up. Here's A, B, C, D, and E. Destroy those little crystal power battery thingies, and boom, mission over with. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And I think there's also an Iron Man mission, ladies and gents, where you just go and hold a point like King of the Hill style. I'm like, why waste? Because there's so much great potential and good in this, and not so much good, but like there's great potential and some good things in this game. Why waste it on this? And I wonder if this was a Square Enix decision to make it a games as service game, because something tells me that this game was announced, I think, in 2017, ladies and gents, but it was probably in pre-production in like 2016, somewhere in 2016. And my question is, was it a Crystal Dynamics decision to make this a games as service? Because they're known for Legacy of Kain and the Tomb Raider reboots, which I freaking love those games. I actually like them more than their Uncharted games. Like, I love Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's my favorite out of the trilogy. But to make it a games as service game like this, when Crystal Dynamics bread and butter is single player, very cinematic, story driven games, it's just like, what a very odd decision. And like I said, what wasted potential. When you watch me play this game, or your favorite streamer, Twitch streamer, or YouTuber play this game, even you, ladies and gentlemen, will probably notice that, like, man, this game could have been one of the greats, but unfortunately it isn't. So yeah, that's my biggest negative about this game. That's really upsetting. One of the negatives about this game is what I feared in the beta, and it's come to realization in the campaign, is that basically if you play the Marvel's Avengers, the beta, you probably get the gist of what you're going to be doing for the 6 hours of the, or 4 hours of the campaign. It's you literally it's or and the level design and the mission structure. It's literally like, okay, we drop into this AIM facility area. There's the objective like 400 meters to north, but there's question marks everywhere. You go to the objective meter, you press a button, you have to hold the position, king the hill, domination style from Call of Duty. You hold the position long enough for Jarvis to do whatever the hell. You kill all the enemies, you go down to the facility, you press a button to get the objective, or you freaking destroy something, or you blow something up. It's just like, that is literally mostly 95% of the main missions in this game, except for, I would say, A-Day and the last mission and parts of the Black Widow mission and Kamala Khan mission, I Stand Alone, and Once an Avenger. Other than that, it's mostly just that. Corridors, underground bases, same structure, same level design, same mission structure. It's just like, wow. This ties back into my main problem with the game. It's just like, what a freaking waste of potential this game had, unfortunately. So yeah, the level design and mission structure is piss poor, boring as all hell. The enemy designs, they could get really fun, but it's just boring, facing the same type of robot, facing the same type of AIM soldier, you getting staggered over every little itsy bitty freaking attack. And another problem I have with the gameplay is just that after you do like a section in like a mission, the big main boss of that level or section is just either a bigger robot, or in the I Stand Alone mission when you play as Kamala Khan and Black Widow, it's just Monica and she's in a mech. That's it. I'm like, what the flying act? Like, why wasn't that like a B, C, D list villain? Like the one that like A-Day, the one of the mini boss, or the boss is Taskmaster. Like, that's okay. That's really freaking cool. That was a kind of like a boring telegraph fight, but that was cool. And the Bruce Kamala Khan Miss Marvel mission, the main boss of that level is Abomination. I'm like, okay, that's really cool, but that's it. Like, it's Abomination for that one level. I think he comes back in like a side mission or whatever, war zone mission or drop zone mission. Same thing with Taskmaster. But the main overarching bad guy is MODOK, which you face at the very end of the game. And to beat him, the main thing you beat him is when he doesn't have any of his jets or shields, you shoot him in the head as Black Widow. Then Kamala Khan, which it's pretty cool that she freaking went Gene Gundam, turned into a Gundam and thing. And it was a quick time QTE thing to beat MODOK, which is kind of cool, but a little disappointing at the same time. But it's just like, man, like, again, wasted potential. Why wasn't there like a D list or C list, or like, why not have Bullseye or Tombstone or somebody? I was gonna say Doctor Doom, but that's like, it just could have been. It could have been so many options, ladies and gents, but it was just another big robot. Oh, a bigger robot with shields with freaking 6 or 8 freaking legs that has vents and shit coming out of it. I'm like, oh my god. Or it's freaking Monica, which she gets into a mech. It's just like, or a huge power suit mech or whatever. Like, that scene, like, it could have been like Monica in the I Stand Alone mission. It could have been like Monica like trying to escape, and next to her is just like, hey, I need your help. And it's Bullseye or Tombstone or somebody like, hey, buy me some time, Tombstone or Bullseye or someone, like, buy me some time. But no, it's just her getting into a mech and her ass gets captured and she escapes. It's just like, it's disappointing. Like I said, wasted potential. Could have been one of the great games. And I was honestly thinking, ladies and gents, like, how would they make it more like a Marvel's Spider-Man or Batman Arkham series? Since you're playing as so many characters, I'm like, that is interesting. Maybe this was the only way, but I'm like, no, I had a thought. Just make it like any freaking Bioware game, like Mass Effect or Dragon Age, where the main character is Shepard in the Mass Effect, or in Dragon Age is whoever, you're the chosen one in Dragon Age or what have you not. But during gameplay in the world, you can switch between Sarah or Vivian or Dorian or whoever during the gameplay. So if they went the Bioware route, they could have been like, okay, Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, she's like the main focal point, the main character that you play as. But and you can have like Black Widow, Iron Man, and Hulk go with you on a mission to do something, and it can be cinematic, story driven, but it's not. It has loot in it, which kind of a tangent. Another negative. Loot really doesn't matter in this game until you hit like end game or even level cap. Like there's really no point of like checking your stats or whatever. Just like if you get like new loot, I would say wait a couple missions, then go into your character menu, then hold the left trigger to equip the best loot. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like it just truly doesn't matter it only matters so you can level up your power level. But in terms of the stats, it's just kind of meaningless, and they don't have any cosmetic appeal to it. So it's just like, so yeah. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys with my TLDR or review of Marvel's Avengers, but yeah, wasted potential, some good of this game. And like I said, and you might be like, well, that was a lot of negatives you listed. Why do you keep saying it's borderline good to even okay? It's because Miss Marvel, aka Kamala Khan, is the saving grace of the campaign, and I do think the campaign is enjoyable and kind of good, and the story, what they tell, then Kamala Khan's character arc and the other characters' character arcs is actually pretty decent to even good, but it's the everything else, the staggering and the gameplay, the piss poor level design and mission structure. Definitely when you go into the war table, the drop zone, the war zones and whatnot, like it's just repetitive and boring and bland. It's just like, why? It's just, it could have been so much more. But yeah, ladies and gents, Marvel's Avengers, borderline good game, okay game, 7.0, 6.5. Ask me tomorrow, I might tell you it's a freaking 2 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie.